09.
Chair Barker, members of the committee, House Bill 4009 deals with children in protective custody and reinstatement of termination of parental rights in certain circumstances. We have before you today the -3 amendments which replace the measure and take out the portion of the measure that deals with the removal of children and putting them in protective custody. As was mentioned at the last hearing, we'll be having a work group on this during the interim. The -3s deal mainly with the process for reinstatement of parental rights. As Representative Stark pointed out to me earlier today, that the emergency clause on the -3 is still remaining. So the bill does have an emergency clause, but it has an operative date of September 1, 2018. So in effect, it would allow rulemaking to start immediately on this, but the process for reinstatement of parental rights would not be able to take place until September 1, 2018.
So, with that in mind and with the concern there, I'm supportive of the bill, but I would really be curious what Cynthia thinks about the emergency clause now and not giving them the opportunity to fully get this on board. I'm just curious what she'd think.
Thank you, Chair Barker, Vice Chair Olson, Vice Chair Williamson, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Cynthia Stinson. I'm the Legislative Coordinator for Department of Human Services Child Welfare. Thank you for the question. We negotiated that date precisely so that we could start the rulemaking process and have it ready for the effective date of September 1st.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the -3 amendments into House Bill 4009.
Representative Williamson moves the -3 amendments in House Bill 4009. Discussion. Representative Stark, please.
Thank you, Chair Barker. So I asked DHS a couple questions yesterday because I wanted these things on the record. I appreciate the written response that they've given us. One of the things I asked about was simply this will cost money because you have different hearings, you have lawyers that will now represent parents who didn't previously have rights, but the volume of it is so low given the magnitude of DHS's budget that it can easily be absorbed without causing fiscal. So I thought that was an appropriate answer. And then one of my concerns yesterday, and as I've thought through this bill, has been when you reinstate parental rights, how, at what level, in a sense, are you reinstating them? As in, is this being reinstated as a parent who's basically has to go through the process like they did before losing their child, or are you reinstating these rights like a parent who had not been an established parent and all of a sudden paternity or maternity is established? Those are different processes. So I appreciated that their response, again, that they posted on OLIS with us today. I'm going to read part of it. It says, the former parent, now a parent, regains party status and a permanency hearing must be held within 60 days. DHS envisions offering the same type of services and safeguards typically utilized in family reunification. Safety planning, create conditions for return using any available and appropriate support services, etc. during the mandatory minimum 6-month period of continuing wardship. The court may also order services as part of the ongoing juvenile dependency case. With that response, I personally am comfortable with the concerns I had that this is not, yay, you proved yourself, hand them back over, parental rights are reinstated. That instead this is, you get a second chance. And you're going to have to, not only have you earned it, but now you're going to have to prove it. And like we said, I think this is rarely going to happen in our state, but if a kid is floundering in the system and a parent gets out of prison and has changed their ways, and why not allow them this opportunity? So I'm going to support this bill.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So last night, the last couple of nights, I've had an opportunity to talk to a couple of judges and also some other members from DHS out in the field. And I just want to share some of my notes that I wrote down as a result of this bill with them and their thoughts. They both concurred that it's rare that a child would go past 18 months after a termination of parental rights, or a TPR, without some type of permanency. They also believe that TPR is generally not done unless there exists some real significant or major concerns. You got to also keep in mind that the burden of proof for that standard at this level is clear and convincing, so that's pretty high. They have not, the ones I talked to, have not experienced any of the people they have completed or who have completed a TPR would be fit to be a parent, even 18 months afterwards. And then this, obviously, I think this kind of supports a little bit of what Representative Stark was saying for the financial end of it, but this would require DHS to do additional investigations and further providing notices and do more court work as well. But I'm supportive of the bill. I just want you to know, I just want to have that on record.
I appreciate that, thank you. Okay, we have before us the motion to put in the -3s. Is there any further discussion? Are there any objections? Seeing none, so ordered.